One reason the UFA class of 2021 has so many big names? It makes more sense to re-sign players after the expansion draft. With the 2021 NHL trade deadline in the rearview mirror, it's time to update this list of the top unrestricted free agents in 2021. This year's UFA class must prepare for a topsy-turvy offseason for a second straight year. The league salary cap is expected to remain flat at $81.5 million. We also may see fewer UFAs than normal sign their contracts before going to market, as even the players planning to re-sign with their teams may hold off as part of handshake agreements so their teams don't have to protect them in the Seattle Kraken expansion draft the week before the free agency period begins. A shortened 2020-21 season means a small sample size, but we have seen some noteworthy perceived increases or decreases in certain UFA's values since I last updated this list, and now, the rankings. Hard to believe he's concluding his 13-year, $124 million pact. It's finally time. Ovechkin has already expressed his desire to finish his NHL career as a Capital and then play his final pro hockey season with his hometown club, Dynamo Moscow of the KHL. We know he'll be back with the Caps next year. It's just a matter of whether he signs a short or long-term deal. Landeskog is the anti-Hamilton in that old-school hockey thinkers. Will Nugent-Hopkins test the market? He and the Oilers have been kicking the tires on an extension but haven't settled on anything yet. The Noog is a tough player to appraise, as he racks up so many of his points on the power play alongside two superstars. He ranks 14. The Bruins' decision to reduce Rask's regular season workload in recent years has paid off in his play. Has it also lowered his price tag? The rise of third-string prospect Jeremy Swayman might push one of Rask and Yaroslav Halak out. Odds are it's Halak, as Rask only wants to play in Boston and thus might consider taking a hometown discount to do so. The Bruins have good leverage. Hall's one-and-done Sabres season played out as a true worst-case scenario. In a way, even a season-ending injury would have preserved his UFA value in amber like A7. Philip Grubauer, 29 talent was never in question for Grubauer. He's delivered a tremendous put-it-all-together season for the Avalanche and has the sixth highest save percentage in NHL history among goalies with at least 100 games played. The key was to prove he can stay healthy and, knock on wood, he's mostly done that, as landing on the COVID-19 list isn't the same as sustaining another soft tissue injury. Is Grubauer playing so well that he's at risk of pricing himself out of Colorado, though? Captain Landeskog's contract is a priority, as is an extension for star RFA blueliner Cale Makar, 7th in points among NHL defensemen since his breakout 2013-14 campaign. Barry, a power play specialist, was set up nicely to post massive contract year numbers in Edmonton, and that's exactly what's happened. But do the Oilers need to bring him back? They were already a powerhouse power play team before he signed, and he's a bit of a drag on their defensive play. Might their money be better spent on a more impactful two-way player? Danault is one of the top two-way forwards in the business, capable of shutting down elite forwards while still driving the play on a scoring line. He reportedly turned a 6-year, $30 million offer from the Habs before the season, but, with his offense disappearing this season, he may want to ask if that deal is still on the table. The NHL playoff bubble might be back. BT bright spot, Patrick Marleau breaks record for most NHL games played. The Leafs bolster lineup at the NHL trade deadline. BT Canada National News, April 12, 2021. Danault's line-mate Tata also drives the play extremely well but brings a superior scoring touch. Averages 24 goals and 64 points per 82 games since becoming a Hab. Might GM Mark Bergevin have to choose between Tata and Danault this summer? Averaged 30 goals per 82 games in his first 5 seasons as a Devil. That appears to be Palmieri's ceiling, but it's a highly useful ceiling. He's had a bad year, but it's likely the product of playing with less help in New Jersey before his trade to the New York Islanders and an unlucky shooting percentage of 6.3, which is almost exactly half his career mark. Perhaps that'll make him a bargain signing this offseason. Schwartz is ready to cash in as a rock-solid top 6 forward who doesn't excel in any one area but does a lot of things well and is tenacious for his size. It's just never a given that Schwartz plays a full schedule, however. He's missed double-digit games in 4 of his past 6 seasons, will be attractive for teams wanting him to fill the same role he does in Colorado now, a win-now piece, responsible at both ends of the ice, fast, able to play in the middle six and contribute decent goal totals. He already has 15 this season in 43 games while playing just 14 minutes or so per night. But that's a trap. His shooting percentage is unsustainable at a ridiculous 23.1. Much experience in the regular season and playoffs as Boston's longtime number 2 center. Would be neat to see him go to a team that lets him play with its top wingers. He typically gets the leftovers with the Bruins, though Hall is a fun short-term upgrade. He was entrenched in the Columbus community thanks to his charity work and role as Blue Jackets captain. Does that mean he'll return there after his stint as a trade deadline rental with the Leafs? It's tough to say, as the Jackets must focus on re-signing RFA Patrick Lane and working out an extension for Seth Jones. He really was the missing piece for Tampa's 2020 Stanley Cup run. Coleman can play center or the wing, he kills penalties, he forechecks aggressively and, don't forget, on a team that needs him to play bigger minutes, he can score 20 goals. Granlund may never reach the ceiling he was projected to have when he ripped up the Finnish Liga a decade ago, but that's okay. He's still a skilled top 6 forward who makes an underrated defensive impact. His most useful trait is his versatility. He can play any forward position if needed. 19. Adam Larson, D. 282,020-21 cap hit, $4,166,666. He's big, rugged, shoots right-handed and is generally underrated as a shutdown defenseman, having spent his career in a relatively small market before Columbus dealt him to Tampa Bay at the deadline. Pretty much every team needs a guy like Savard. 21. Alec Martinez, D. 34. Wow. What a year. Martinez, who has profiled as more of a two-way defenseman for most of his career, is producing by far the best offensive numbers of his career just in time for a new contract. A personal best season at 34 makes him a risky signing if any suitor is banking on repeat numbers. He's durable, he plays 22 minutes a night, he moves the puck pretty well, he's just a safe veteran pickup at this stage of his career, even if it's on a short-term deal. Riley was a bright spot on a rebuilding Ottawa Senators team this season, forming a net positive pair with rookie Artem Zub, and Riley has already proven extremely useful moving the puck on Boston's left side. He felt more like a fringe NHLer a few years ago but has established himself as a legitimate UFA target. During the first edition of these rankings, I claimed Hoffman was not a $4 million player. The implication was that he was worth more, but now it's fair to ask if he'll earn getting long in the tooth. But he still has a skill set plenty of teams would need: intelligent, good on face-offs, can center a scoring line and, as he's shown this year, can transition successfully to the left wing as well. Would the Ducks walk away from their captain and franchise leader in games and assists? When they bought out former cornerstone Corey Perry in 2019, it sent a message that GM Bob Murray was ready for a new era. The Ducks and Getzlaf explored the idea of renting him out to a contender at this year's deadline, too. The guess here, he stays, but he begins his Joe Thornton years, re-upping on short-term deals at a discounted price. 27. Jamie Oleksiak, D. 28. Sometimes big defensemen take longer to find themselves in the NHL, and Oleksiak, who carries first-round draft pedigree, fits the bill. He's much improved in his second stint with Dallas, using his strength effectively while also showcasing good mobility for a man his size. 28. Brandon Montour, D. 272,020-21 cap hit, $3,850, 00029. Ryan Murray, D. 272,020-21 cap hit, $4,700, 00030. Matthias Janmark, LW, 28.